Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Tone Tailors Podcast. My name's Levi McCurdy, and this is episode number 4. And I am so excited for you guys to hear my conversation with Megan and Jeff, also known as the Wild Hymns. And if you have not heard their music already, please tune into this episode. We're going to have some tracks throughout the entirety of this episode, links to all of their tracks and Spotify and website down below. So if you're curious and want to check out a little poppy, funky soul kind of vibe of music, head on over to their website, check the description down below, and immerse yourself in the music of the Wild Hymns. I had a great time meeting, chatting with, and talking to Jeff and Megan. Just another incredible conversation with episode 4 of the Tone Tailors Podcast.
You wanna stay out all night. You won't come home till the morning light. I feel you, 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 I feel you.
We usually just jump right into these things and then I splice it all together in editing. So we'll just jump right in. Megan, Jeff, the Wild Hymns, please introduce yourself to the audience and your furry friend there as well. And just let us know who you are, where you're from, what you're about, and what you do.
Cool. Yes. So we are the Wild Hymns.
The Wild Hymns.
My name is Megan, and
Jeff.
we are the Hewitts, and we're married. We've been married for going on 11 years.
Wow.
And this is Yeshi, our little baby dog.
Precious.
And we are musicians. We live in York, Pennsylvania, and we've been playing music together probably for almost 17 years. And then we've had the Wild Hymns we started in 2014, and it's, the two of us, and then we play with other musicians as well. And yeah, we're artists, and we love to create stuff and be with people.
Yeah. Have you always been in the York area? You've been there for quite some time?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we were both born elsewhere, but moved here when we were pretty young, and we both grew up here. Mm-hmm.
Same. Yeah, same. So you guys are independent artists. And what's kind of what's your style? What's your genre? What can people expect when we hit play?
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
What is our genre?
I call us folk pop.
Okay. Yeah.
And sometimes I'll call it like art folk pop, because we definitely like to push the boundaries a little bit and kind of bring in all sorts of different genres. And so, yeah, but mostly like folk pop, I would say.
Yeah, no, I think I was listening to some of your music today on Spotify, and it's I would 100% that would be my direct definition. Yeah. I think that just seems to be, I don't know when this trend kind of started, if it's always been here, but now it's just kind of more, maybe a little bit more mainstream of just these genre blending the country into the pop, into the rap, into the folk R&B, into what you guys are doing. It seems like music now is, you never know, every other year your favorite artists might be a different genre going on tour these days. And so it's very interesting to see and hear how each individual artist or even groups or couples such as yourselves intertwine those two, and how many even different ways there is to do that, right?
Yeah.
And so you guys said you've been married 11 years. Congratulations. Incredible feat.
Thank you. I know. We know. We still like each other.
Have you always been singing and performing together for that whole 11 years, or did that come later?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, we met through a fellow musician, and pretty soon after that, we started playing music together in another project before the Wild Hymns. And then we just have been playing music since. Yeah.
Wow. How often do you butt heads a lot when it comes to the decision making in the music?
I don't think so. I mean, a little bit sometimes, but
Maybe.
it's really Megan writes the songs,
Okay.
and then I just get to play on those songs.
I mean, that's not totally true. We do co-write, not lyrically, I would say, but musically there's times where, but it's more like Jeff will have an idea and then I will hear that and then write from that. But butting heads, no, I mean, I would say I do the majority of the business part of our music. I mean, Jeff works pretty much full time, doing other work as well, but as far as like performing and playing and the decisions about the musicality of it, I feel like we both do that. And sometimes we definitely come from different musical backgrounds, I guess I would say, in ways, or musical influences. But so there's times where maybe I might want something to sound one way and he might, but we are pretty good at compromising, I would say.
Yeah, I agree.
And I really like what you bring to my music.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
Like Jeff definitely brings some of the like
Rock and roll.
psychedelia. I would say you do bring some of the rock and roll, and he pushes me because I'm not as much of an improviser. And Jeff loves to kind of just create more in the moment and allow things to unfold, and that's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, we definitely have our moments where we butt heads. Like
Yeah.
there's definitely been, I feel like we were doing like a live stream one time and we like totally started like going at it, and then I just like stopped the live stream. So it's, it's what when you're with anybody all the time, but we're married and also doing music together. But for the most part, we do pretty well.
Yeah. You just said three things and three roads I really want to go down. So we'll start with one. The ideas for the songs. Where do they come from you? I've been interviewing club owners and musicians these last couple of weeks, and some of them are dreamers, some of them are just ideas at the coffee table in the morning, some of them are real lifers. What's that idea process look like for you? Is that just like instant, or is it a time thing?
The songs.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like you should answer first with your like compositions and anything that you write. Where does it come from?
It's I'll come home from work and Megan will have written 2 or 3 songs.
Not
And-
every day.
Yeah, this doesn't happen all the time, but it's sort of like there it is, and I'll sit down and play my guitar, and I like to use my looper and stuff, and I'll just come up with ideas. And every once in a while, I think Megan here's one of those ideas I have, and she might take it from there and make a song from it. And then,
But for you, that's all very spontaneous, right? When you're
Yeah.
creating, you're just
Pretty
like
much.
kind of channeling it, right?
sure,
When you write. Would you say that's true?
I think so.
You're not like thinking about it and then
Sometimes I'm going for like, and then look at all the different ways you can augment those chords, or
yeah, and I don't think like that at all.
Right.
So Jeff's also taught me a lot about music theory and what I'm actually doing. So for me, it definitely depends. I would say most of the time, like I'll just decide, okay, I'm gonna write. And then I'll just start playing around on like the guitar and a melody will come out. Or sometimes I'll just be singing and a melody will come out, and it's very much spontaneous and it just kind of flows. And I'll get like maybe a little like melodic line and then put that over some chords. And then from there, maybe the lyrics will come. That's how it usually goes. But
Yeah.
sometimes I'll have like a lyrical idea and just be like, oh, that's cool. Like I'll just hear something, or I'll see a film or other musicians or whatever, and I'll get inspired. And then I'll have like a little nugget of an idea and I'll write from that. So there's just different ways that I can access it. But sometimes it just is wild how it just kind of comes in.
Right.
But there's also times where I have to really work at it for sure.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. The second thing that you mentioned, you handle more of the business aspect of it. So what can you that's more of my side. I'm more on the entrepreneurial business ownership side of things. So can you just shed some light for those who think that, cool, right, I've got this song, I've got it recorded, I figured out how to get it on Spotify, but now what? There's business involved. Like, is that what is your, what does that process look like for you guys?
Yeah, so a lot of it is it's kind of been over the years gathering all of our dog is like doing some like digging and just craziness over there. If you of like gathering together everything that we need content wise, like a professional website, all of our photos, music videos, live videos, social media, obviously, and then yes, getting all of the music up online and making sure that we are getting the proper like streaming royalties from everything. And et cetera, et cetera. There's probably so much more with that. But then there's also booking, which is just a constant process of gathering venues we'd like to play, their contact information, reaching out, following up, organizing the schedule,
Yep.
all
a
of
lot
that
of work.
kind of stuff. I think that's most of it. And then, there's also like when we're recording, that's kind of a process, scheduling and planning all of that. Just keeping up with the calendar and then anything like this, like podcasts and
Right.
stuff like that we have. But that's probably most of it. And yeah, you get what you give. So, the more that I find that I put into that, the more happens. And we're really blessed right now that we have a manager. Shout out to our manager, Kristen Davis. It's just like she's just a private, independent manager. She used to work with a small company in Nashville called Brain Candy, but now she actually works for Live Nation. So she's works with crazy artists. She actually told me that yesterday she was trying to source a hookah for Shaquille O'Neal because somehow he's in some kind of show or something she's doing. So that's the kind of stuff that she does. But either way, she helps now with booking and all of it. And that is so helpful. And, I know everybody probably who's doing this thing, at least attempting to do it professionally or semi-professionally wants and needs a manager. And for us, it just kind of took time and the stars just kind of aligned.
Yeah.
So to me, you just do everything that you can on your own and do it to the best of your ability. Find help. You can always outsource things like social media and like photos and stuff like that. We're really lucky that we have a lot of amazing artist friends who've helped us with that. But yeah, did that answer
No,
your question?
yeah, I've talked about it in past episodes, and that's kind of just what we really like to hit home. It's just this notion of thinking that you can start a business or start a band or just upload the music, and then that's kind of it, and then you'll be the next Taylor Swift. And then but there's so much more behind it, and you've got to hustle and grind and do every single thing under the sun with 17 hats on. So it's
Yeah.
yeah, no, I was just going to say, I think in my lifetime, everything that I have done and been involved with music and Tone Tailors and just all of this happening now, I think you guys might be some of the first musicians that I've ever talked to that have a manager, like and a fit, like this is a person that you are contractually with, like she books you shows, everything, like, so I think I probably have talked to a couple, but I think to the extent that you have one is just a testament to your commitment to your artistry and your craft, and I think that's it's extremely impressive.
Thank you.
And it's something that I think a lot of people get confused with that. Like, do I need a manager? Do I need a record deal? Are they one of the same? And I think it's one of those things that's kind of changing and has come a long way. And speaking of which, how have you seen that change? I mean, I just got done talking to Rich Ruoff, who opened the Chameleon Club back in the '80s, and just everything that's happened since then to now. Since you guys have started in the music scene, what's that kind of been like going from then to 2025?
Good question.
Yeah, it's definitely changed a lot, even just in the 11 years that we've been married,
Yeah.
or since we started the Wild Hymns, which was in 2014. And I would say that's when we both started to take this whole thing a bit more seriously, maybe more like 2018 or 17, where, it's not like we always cared about it, but we started to be like, oh, let's actually see if we can, just make some stuff happen and start to book better shows and make some albums we feel really good about and create like a career. So over those 10 years or so that we've been doing that, oh my gosh, it's changed so much. I mean, I don't want to talk this whole time, so
No, you
need to
take
talk
it.
to. But Jeff is
Take it away.
Jeff is often the like silent partner in this. But to me, the big one that I've noticed has been like the shift to social media, because I know that I think Instagram started maybe around 2012 or 13 or something.
Yeah, somewhere around there. I
Maybe a
believe,
little
yeah.
earlier,
Yeah.
but that's when I probably started getting on there, and just the shift to that being like a huge focus, which has been, it's wonderful because it's a free marketing tool where you can build your own audience, but then it's also like highly addictive. And
now it's Spotify.
yeah, and Spotify as well, the shift to everything being digital definitely has changed, because when we first made our first few albums, like in 2014 and 16, a lot of people were still buying CDs. I think vinyl was kind of making it had
starting to
been,
get,
yeah, it was
popular
bigger then
then.
too. So it was like but that was really, really expensive. It still is, but it's a little more affordable now. But people they were still purchasing more physical music, whereas now
Yeah.
pretty much everything's digital. Now I will say there's so many kind humans who still get it, that like it really supports you to actually buy physical merch, and they actually do like to collect vinyl. But that's been a huge shift. And just, yeah, the whole, I mean, everything, just like the way that venues work and booking, it's all changed a lot. And I think unfortunately it's like people still it's like the average is like $100 a man, like, or per musician, per
Right.
woman, whatever, human. And that hasn't gone up, very much. I mean, luckily for us, like we're starting to find, like, when you get certain gigs that are just higher quality gigs, that the pay is higher, but your average, like playing at a club or a bar or something, it really hasn't changed. So that sucks. And it is harder to, I think, make your way. But there's also so many tools, and you can really do it yourself. I also feel like it's just like so oversaturated now, or at least
Sure.
it seems that way, because you can see everything on Spotify. I mean, I've heard, like, I think like every day on Spotify, there's like, I don't even know, at least like a couple 100,000 new albums or
Really?
something.
Every day.
Something crazy like
There
that. That
are-
might not be right, but it's a lot.
There are
Right.
8 billion people on this planet, and that means there are 280 billion posts on social media every day. So 200,000 new albums on Spotify wouldn't probably even put a dent in that. So I would assume so. There was just I just saw a news story of the I've never heard of the band. I can't even remember the name of the band, but it was supposed to be this semi-popular band, and it just came out that, oh, it was just AI, and it was just the band doesn't actually exist, and it had all these views and downloads and listeners on Spotify, and all of their fans were upset. And so it's
Yeah, that's crazy.
I can only imagine. I've heard nightmares of the streaming industry, and so I'm curious. I think when I looked, it according to what they show publicly, I think the number on your guys' accounts is about a little over 1,600. monthly listeners. Does that equate to anything? I mean, share whatever you're comfortable with sharing. Does that mean anything to you? Like, is that a monetary value? Do you get, or is that just kind of your a loyal fan base that once found your music?
I don't really know. I mean,
Okay.
I will say that it doesn't. I mean,
Right.
for considering like I was super resistant to Spotify
Yeah.
specifically.
I still am.
Yeah, until our manager, and she was just like, "Listen, like straight up, certain venues will only book based on your Spotify number."
You have to be and you have to be everywhere. And if you're not a serious band. They won't take it. And it just, yeah. And if, yeah, it's okay. And so that number is probably just accumulated from the shows that you've done over the years. People find you,
Yeah.
save you to their playlist, and now that adds as a monthly
Yeah.
list. Okay.
And I will say we've worked at that, which I know 1,600 is not a lot to most people, but when we first started, probably really even considering Spotify a few years ago, we didn't have any. So it's taken a bit, and that's again, our manager has helped a lot. She's actually very, very familiar with Spotify and how that works. So she's just helped
Yeah.
us with creating playlists and curators to add you to playlists, and that can gain listeners and all of that. So that is a whole world in and of itself of the business aspect of being a musician that I know it's like so cringe to talk about, but it is, I mean, to me, I'm proud of that number. It's like,
Yeah.
cool, if that is actually 1,600 individuals listening to us,
Yep.
that's a lot more than we had 5-10 years ago that I'm aware of. And I've seen the growth. So hopefully in another 10 years, it'll increase. And there's a part of me that doesn't give a fuck about it. I don't know if I can swear on here.
Of course.
Okay.
And
But I do at the same time, and then I'll just answer your question where monetarily, I don't know what that equates to. Not much, I can tell you
Okay.
that. But I do get through we use a platform called Symphonic, probably 2 or 3 times a year, I'll just get payments from them, into our bank account from all of the different streaming services. And that's always a fun surprise. I think a few times it's been $300-400 and I'm like, sick, again, we're not making a living.
We back about 15-ish years ago, some buddies and myself, we had music on, I think it's still out on Spotify, to be honest with you. And I think 5 years ago during COVID, I think I got a deposit from a random place because we were all checking our deposits during COVID, stimulus, whatever was coming. And I was like, what is this? And then I started Googling, and we got finally, after 15 years, the 4 rap songs that we had put on Spotify finally gained. And so it was $70. And I was like, hey guys, I owe you lunch. We'll go to Chipotle and we'll be good to go, and we'll be all as fair. And so that was no, and that's just why I was kind of just curious, because it's such a convoluted thing. You have to be on Spotify in 2025, but it's this huge machine that just swallows you as soon as you upload your music, and it's you just still have to rely on your loyal fan base to do the right thing and listen and hit play. And I always tell people, even though I think I'm the only one that does it for myself, I said, just put everything I have on a playlist and turn it all the way down while you sleep and put it on repeat for 8 hours, and then we'll just call it a day, because that'll count as streams and the numbers will go up. And if
for sure,
hey.
You make a good point that I was thinking of earlier too, and Jeff and I talk about this a lot, that to me it's still even with the AI bullshit, which is just it's and all of this.
I wasn't gonna bring up AI this episode because I brought it up the last 3, but you did, so now the doors are open. So let's hear it. I would love your opinion.
Yeah.
And then I'll give you the rebuttal that might make you change your opinion. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I was just going to say that the more that stuff is happening, I still think that ultimately the authentic human connection, nothing will ever replace that. I really don't think so, at least for me personally. I mean, I guess it might get to some point where we just can't tell at all, and then we'll all just be robots and say la vie. But for now, even with like you asked earlier too about how the music industry has changed, and I still think in the end it comes down to personal relationships and just getting to know people and making connections. And that's like the best thing that you can do is just like be a kind, good, passionate, caring person that's interested in other people and just make connections and like the kindness of strangers and random people and just like people. We met some dude at a recent gig who's like, that night we met him, I kept being like, do we already know him? Because he just talked to us like we'd known him forever.
Yeah.
And now he's like, trying to get us into all these venues and he's coming to see us. And it's just so sweet. And it means so much that our music, somehow connected to him. But yeah, I don't know. I feel definitely like AI overall freaks me out and I don't feel good about it, especially musically, because I think that part of like being creative is going through the process and like actually like I don't want to say the struggle, but the journey of creating, and that's what usually like yields the most beautiful art. And I feel like just like typing something in. But that said, like being able to utilize it to like, I don't know, notate my music or which I haven't tried that yet, but there might be all these tools that I can now use. Like I might use it where I'll write something and have it edit it to just sound better. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that, like sort of utilizing it as an assistant. But to act like any AI art that I see, I just don't dig it. It just doesn't feel human to me. And I haven't really listened to any music that I'm aware of, but I don't know. What do you think?
I feel the same.
Yeah.
What about you, Levi?
Yeah, no,
what do you think?
there's definitely, I mean, I use it every day for work stuff and creation as well. But it's mainly because I stopped being able to spell and read years ago. So now if ChatGPT goes away, I'll be lost forever. So but no, I use it for, like you said, to just improve on anything that I needed to do. I write out my emails and I say, hey, this is what I'm going for, organize it, make it make sense, and then send it. So, but my opinions are usually the same as our musician friends, is that obviously putting in the prompt and hitting send and then getting a full song as the output and uploading it as a creation, no good, no good, no good. And so much so, I'm pretty sure that our friends at YouTube just said that they're changing the rules and that channels that are AI based and flagged as such and have just any amounts of AI, faceless channels, stuff along those lines, will no longer be monetized. So that kind of is just being and creating even more of a push for human content, which we of course always need. And so, but I also see it as a tool to potentially help you, get over those rocks or those humps, or if there's just a line in a song that you can't really maybe figure out. And so if you had specific instructions inside of just an AI or ChatGPT window that said, hey, we're the Wild Hymns. Here's all of the lyrics from all of our albums we ever did. Here's 12 paragraphs about Megan. Here's 12 paragraphs about Jeff. And now it fully knows you. And you say, we have trouble with this one line on this song. And you put it in and it gives you 12 options back. Now you have 12 options to either choose from or think about off of that.
Where to go from there? Yeah.
Sure. And I tend to do my best to not have black and white thinking. So I'm like, okay, I will be open. And I have utilized Chat GPT for, like I said, editing purposes or different ideas. And I guess it's kind of like bouncing it off of another person. I mean, this is like intelligence, and it is like referencing, like you said, all of the information that you give it. So if you're like really directing it and then it just, yeah, I don't know. I mean,
No, it's just it's such a fun and new conversation that I love having. My stepdad wants me to use it to fix his health problems. I use it for work, art, music, and I think it certainly has its place everywhere. You had mentioned where you got have you tried live streaming? Is that something that you actively do or tried or just kind of attempted once or twice?
Well, COVID, we did that. It's a lot of,
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
you know,
that's
and
when
it
we
was
did
kind
it.
of fun. The first few times we did it, it was like, "Hey, this is great. You
Well,
know?
there was like so many of our people tuned in.
Yeah.
And we would make it kind of a big thing. Yeah, we probably did it like once a month or a couple times a month there through COVID, and then it just kind of died off, and now we don't
We had a
anymore.
few like themes, didn't we?
Yeah,
We did.
we did a bed in,
That was fun.
and we would do it on our front porch, and then sometimes some of our neighbors would come and bring their like lawn chairs and
And like
their camping chairs
Hit in the
sit in
road.
the driveway and watch us like in the dead of COVID where nobody was going anywhere. Yeah, it was fun. But yeah, now we don't really anymore.
It's the new thing that everyone will have to start doing now. It's like the TikTokification of the world. If you're not live, you're not. It's the way I think we're combating AI. It's what the algorithm's going to prefer.
it needs to be live,
Right.
which is cool. I
Yeah.
mean, that's kind of cool.
There's the best example I can give, and I apologize because it has nothing to do with music or even anything else. But there's a guy, his name's the Home Dog, and I think he's in out in Hanover. He has a hot dog cart, and he's live in his hot dog cart all day every day. And now because of that, and the following he gets on TikTok from the local because he has it tagged Hanover, PA. And because he's live for 8 hours a day, all TikTok does is push him to local people in Hanover. Now he's got a line at his cart every day.
Good for him.
Now he's got a YouTube channel. He literally is just dropping hour-long videos of himself slinging hot dogs, and it's getting 10,000 views over the weekend. And I'm like,
Nice.
hey man, I've been podcasting for 4 years, and I'm breaking into the hundreds of views. Like, where's the like? So obviously, it's a very interesting world that's constantly changing, and it is a flood to kind of not a flood, it's just an exhaustion to kind of keep up with. A flood of new things constantly is the train of thought there. So you guys have four or five albums out, correct?
Yes, four albums.
Okay.
For
Yeah.
When was that most recent one released?
2022. June of 2022, we released Eternal Return was our most recent album. So yeah, it's been over 3 years, which is like the longest.
we did do some. We were in the studio again.
Yeah, we are working on a new batch of songs. Not so much like an album per se.
Do
We
some more
love the
recording.
process. I mean, love hate because sometimes it is a very tedious process. But
Would you say the definition of what you're doing, since it's not an album per se? I've been trying to figure out the difference because I think Lizzo just dropped a mixtape, and I'm trying to figure out in 2025 the difference between an album and a mixtape. Would that fall under that category
I
potentially?
don't even know. I don't know what she's referring to with a mixtape. Like, is it just a bunch of stuff she's created that it doesn't necessarily like
Right.
go together? What's
Is
the word I'm looking for? Like, it's not like a conceptual, thing where it's tied in. It's just kind of a bunch of random things she's created, maybe.
And does that define what it is that you're doing now?
I guess so, because it's been like a slow process of like just trying some different things. Like we wanted to make a few very stripped down, kind of acoustic, very uncomplicated recordings with like The Witch, which we did release as a single on Spotify, and everywhere. And yeah, I would say this is the first time that we've been more like, okay, well, we'll just release some singles rather than like make a whole album. But yes, maybe it will be like that. I actually like that idea. So thanks for sharing that. Because yeah, it feels like less pressure to make it this very, I don't know, conceptual um, work where everything
Yeah.
goes together. And maybe it's just like whatever we've created. But I do love albums and I love listening to albums as a whole. So I do want to make more at some point. So
We're gonna make some synth tracks and
Okay.
just put it on some cassette tapes.
that is a plan that we have, but we might release it under a different name with our friends, like a secret kind of just like one off, like just make like 50 cassette tapes of this random synth, like
Synthy,
kind of like Dungeon and
yeah, D&D
Dragons,
music.
dungeon core music.
Okay.
So
No,
that's a random like idea we have to just kind of like depart from our normal
Yeah.
Wild Ones thing.
no, my buddy Paul's into the synth. I call it his twisty knobby turny thing. I don't understand it, but I love what it produces, and it's yeah, it's quite a unique sound. The synth. My buddy Paul. I call it his twisty knobby turny thing. Is I don't understand it, but he does wonders with it. So cool. Oh, and on a cassette tape, interesting medium. Is that the best for the synth? Or is that just a
That was
It's
just
just our
us having fun.
our friends,
yeah.
two of our best friends, their names are Joe and Tiffany, and they're a couple as well, and they're artists. They came over to our house like whatever, like 4th of July weekend, one of the days, and
And
I
then I
guess
had
you were
the
playing
pedal
your
too.
guitar and he had like a synth pedal and we were just like jamming with them and they, like I said, they're not musicians per se, so it was just really fun to see them like just creating this cool he had the idea for the mixtape release and just making it like super limited edition. And yeah, I like the idea of it because normally for me with every album, it's been like such a big thing. There's so much in it. We've crowdfunded and then you have to like, press all this stuff and get it out to your people and promote it. And this would just be more like just like art for art's sake and fun for fun. And then it would probably end up like blowing up and being the biggest thing we ever did.
That's
I'm
not
just kidding. But that's how it would go. What you're trying for so hard. doesn't always-
It just is. It seems like a fun little project to do.
Yeah.
What's been one of the favorite venues you guys have performed at over these last couple of years?
Have you heard of a venue called Hub City Vinyl?
Hub City Vinyl? I believe so. Yes. Yeah.
In
It's
Hagerstown,
it's pretty good.
Maryland.
They're great. Great place.
And it's like a record, the front is a record shop. And then there's like a smaller venue. And then they're building like a bigger, probably like what,
400 people.
And we've played there a handful of times and it's just really lovely stage and sound and the people are really nice and yeah, it's a fun venue.
Good place.
And like the last time we played there, they opened up the record shop after our show. So like all of the audience and we got to go in and like shop and hang out and it was really fun.
Wow, that's cool. Like a little like surprise meet and greet kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
are you guys more of like the like intimate house show type vibes, or are you itching to get to like an even bigger stage each time?
I think
It's
both.
both. So a lot of times the last few years we've been playing more duo shows just because it's easier, with traveling. And it's kind of like we can go out and play new venues and make new connections and then hopefully eventually bring the band out. But then we also do, play with a full band. We have bass drums and keys and then Jeff will play his electric and I'll play acoustic and sing. And we definitely have more of a, I don't know, like a bigger upbeat kind of sound. And we can definitely work at like more of a festival or bigger venue. But yeah, I think both. And I enjoy both for different reasons. I mean, I do really like an intimate, like 50 people or less show where everyone's just kind of tuned in and you can like really look people in the eye, and I'll like to like talk with the audience and stuff like that. But then it's also really fun to play like a bigger festival, and we would love to play as big of stages as we can and hopefully just be able to still create an intimate feeling with the music, because I do think that's part of our sound is like there's a certain level of kind of quiet and intimacy as well as
Mhm.
the music. So
Love that. Who are you guys listening to? Who's on your playlist?
I don't have a playlist.
Jeff doesn't have a playlist
Okay.
and doesn't have Spotify for sure. But what do you do?
I don't really. Well, I mean, if I listen to more like maybe Indian music or something like that.
You're just listening to Django Reinhardt.
Yeah.
You listen to like older kind of classic rock or
Yeah, I'm a Dead fan. So
I was gonna say I could back it up with what was on the wedding party time playlist.
oh,
Yeah.
that's a good question. We actually hired our friends. They were the thing with two heads. They are like we're a DJ couple back in the day. They're not together anymore, but they just played a bunch of like vintage records, like again, like Beatles and
Wow.
all sorts of
yeah,
stuff.
pretty cool.
But
Good stuff.
but we listen to all sorts of stuff. I mean, I've been listening to, do you know Wise Blood?
No, I don't think so.
It's spelled Weyes and then
Okay.
Blood. She's kind of like Laurel Canyon, but like vintage futuristic. So she does have some like synth, but then her music sounds a lot like the Carpenters or something, but then she has this like kind of edginess to it, and she just has like a really lovely voice, and it's very like melancholic and like dreamy, which I'm into. But she's a, more contemporary artist who I really like. But I usually go back to the classics anyway and just listen to like, Joni Mitchell and the Grateful Dead and 70s stuff. That's just always going to be my favorite.
Yeah. Was the sound better back then?
I mean, I don't want to say that because there is really good music now.
Yeah.
But I do feel like there was like, I mean, there's a lot of shit music now too. Like there's a lot of stuff that I'm just, and I mean, I again try not to judge, but some of it, like some of the most popular stuff, I'm just like, it's just bad. It just feels soulless. It feels soulless to me. And that's where again, with the AI thing, it's like, when there's not that soul and that emotion and that, like, I don't know, there's just a feel that,
And there's nothing like, back in the day, even the way they recorded, it was on 2-inch tape, very analog. Everything was just, you know, had a different sound quality to it. They would pan things different and just not that way today. It's so different.
I mean,
And
some of it
so many
is.
ways to do things now. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, it
but
is.
there's a lot of good new music too. Oh, I'm a big fan of this artist named Sierra Farrell. That's pretty big. She's like a Americana. And it's weird. Like I do love her music and I really love her voice. I love she has like she's one of those like genre bending. You could definitely fit her in like country bluegrass, but then she also does this almost like jazz calypso stuff, and that's what I'm really into. And she just has this really haunting voice. But I love her, like she's just she seems very real to me. Like she's pretty big, but she still seems to like stay very true to who she is. And that just feels really cool because I do think that the industry can be really soul crushing and like, just erase people's personality to make them into some commercial thing to make a lot of money. So anytime I see somebody who seems really authentic, like I'm always drawn to that for sure.
Yeah, well, and especially you get to them now because I think we've probably all been in that situation where we see someone at the local Lancaster, York County club, And then boop, all of a sudden, now they're at Hershey Park Stadium for $300 a ticket or even more or somewhere else, or we can't even function to get to see the stage. It's those beginning situations and those like early on vibes and connections that kind of really set the precedent for good music. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, guys. So, what do we have to plug? Do we have shows coming up? I think like this July, and like, I think another like next weekend, I think.
Yeah, we're doing this little mini 3-show residency at Longwood Gardens.
Okay.
But I hate to say it, but I think all they might be sold out. It's like it's like our show, and then there's fireworks at the gardens, but people can try. I know the one on the 19th is sold out, but we're playing there on Sunday the 13th, Saturday the 19th, and then Sunday the 20th. So people could check out the Sunday shows, the 13th and the 20th. And then July after that's a little bit slow in August, and we're going to kind of focus on finishing up our mixtape recordings, as you call them, and see if we can just kind of finish those up or get them a little further. And I'm working on some new art for some new merch and stuff like that. And then at the end of August, we have like a little mini tour. We're going to be going to a couple different places in Pennsylvania and then Virginia and West Virginia. So we're just doing like maybe a 5 or 6 day run. And then in the fall, we'll be back around here more. I'm trying to think of any bigger shows that we have. I know September 6th, which is a Saturday, in past years have put on a festival called Women of Folk Festival.
Okay.
And it's been 2 years now since we did it, but we're doing like a little mini reunion show on September 6th with a couple of other local women fronted bands, Sarah Fiore of Big Sky Quartet, and then Cumberland Honey. So the three of us are doing a show at this little place called the SRCC. It's the Susquehanna River Creative Conspiracy in Columbia, PA. So between Lancaster and York. That's September 6th. I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, we have all sorts of shows. So if you just go to like thewildhymns.com and look under live, you can see all of our shows. And then we're hoping once we finish up these recordings to release another song maybe at the end of summer, but I'm not sure just yet. But people can definitely look out for some new merch and definitely new music by the end of the year, but hopefully this summer.
Yeah, merch. I think I need some of that. I don't think anyone else I've talked to yet has merch. Maybe they do. Maybe Tuck Ryan. I don't.
I'm sure he does. Maybe not. I would think.
Yeah, I think so too. He maybe just didn't mention it. He probably does. I gotta get everybody that's been on the podcast his merch. And then I think I'll have Tone Tailors and JP pay for it. So it's
Great idea.
So thewildhymns.com, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Well, we will have that link as well as links to your music, assuming it's okay if we include your music in this episode.
Yeah,
I guess
that would be fabulous.
I'll have to contact your manager, I'm sure, to get permission, licensing, or anything along those lines. No, well, because you're a verified artist on Spotify, I'll probably automatically get flagged. It's been happening. And so I'll have to go in and dispute it and tell, I think, you that my lawyers will fight you because you gave me permission. So it'll just have, trust me, it's the way it works. It's because it instantly recognizes the music as yours. So it thinks I'm trying to steal it. And I'm like, hey, they're here. Like,
can I just send you like MP3s or WAV files or something?
That would actually be great.
Yeah,
if
you just email me, I can send you them, and then you don't have to do any of that stuff.
Awesome. I think YouTube's automatic algorithm will automatically like flag me, but I'll deal with the overlords there. Well, guys, hopefully, I will also myself be checking out that page, just to see if I can make it to any of those dates coming
Love
up.
that.
Would love to see you guys live, of course. And a shout out to our friends. If you need any of your gear for any of your upcoming shows, you know where to go. It's Tone Tailors.
Yes.
Back in Lancaster, we are, and always 24/7 at tonetailors.com. Thank you guys for a lovely, lovely fourth episode, rounding out our first month of this podcast. I appreciate your time. Any last words, final message to the people before we get out of here?
We just made it into Tone Tailors, the new downtown location,
Yeah,
a couple weeks
very
ago,
nice.
and it's really nice. So definitely everybody go check it out. And we always love everybody that we work with there. We're good friends with Chad, and we always get hooked up, and it's a great place. Well, we really
Very good.
appreciate you reaching out and having us on for sure. And I guess I just wanted to say to everybody that, just keep your hearts open, keep being kind to each other, keep making art and music and whatever it is that you make, because I know that the world is like a massive shit show right now, but I still think that humanity and dignity and goodness, is still here, and I see it every day. So I just say that to remind myself and everybody else of that.
Good. Love it. Awesome. You guys are great. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank
It's a pleasure
you.
meeting you. Pleasure talking to you. We'll definitely have you back sometime very, very soon.
We would love that. Thanks, Levi.
Thank you.
Bye.
I can